Hello everyone, and welcome to our Sleep Lecture channel. Tonight, we're diving deep into a topic that many of you might find unsettling. We're talking about ghosts, legends, and those strange things that go bump in the night. Now, before you hide under the covers, let me assure you, this isn't about scaring you. It's about understanding why these stories have such a powerful grip on our minds, especially when we're trying to drift off to sleep. So have you ever been lying in bed in that quiet, dark room and suddenly heard a creak? Or maybe you saw a shadow move in the corner of your eye. Your heart starts racing, your mind goes into overdrive, and suddenly sleep feels like a million miles away. You're not alone. This experience is incredibly common, and it's rooted deep in our history and psychology. For centuries, every culture around the world has had its own ghost stories. From the sorrowful white lady endlessly searching for her lost love, to the playful poltergeists who love to move things around. These tales are more than just spooky entertainment. They are reflections of our deepest fears, the fear of the unknown, the fear of death, and the fear of being alone. When we're in our beds at night, our defenses are down, the distractions of the day are gone, and our minds are free to wander into these darker territories. Think about the classic elements of a ghost story. It's almost always dark. There's usually a sense of isolation, and there's an unexplained noise or event. Does that sound familiar? It's the exact environment of our bedrooms at night. Our brains are hardwired for survival. When our senses pick up something unusual, like a floorboard settling or the wind rattling a window, our ancient fight or flight response can kick in. And in the absence of a clear, rational explanation, our imagination steps in to fill the blanks. And what's a more compelling explanation than a ghost? It's fascinating how our brains work in these moments. There's a state of consciousness called hypnagogia. This is that magical transitional period between wakefulness and sleep. During this time, our minds can produce vivid, sometimes bizarre, dream-like images and sounds. You might hear your name being called, see fleeting faces, or feel a sensation of falling. These are known as hypnagogic hallucinations, and they are completely normal. But if you're already a bit on edge, it's easy to misinterpret these experiences as something supernatural. It's not a ghost, it's your brain getting ready for its nightly reboot. Another interesting phenomenon is sleep paralysis. This is when you wake up, you're mentally aware, but you can't move your body. It can be a terrifying experience. People often report feeling a presence in the room, a pressure on their chest, or seeing a shadowy figure. For thousands of years, cultures have interpreted this as a visit from a demon or a malevolent spirit. The night hag legend is a perfect example of this, but science gives us a different explanation. During REM sleep, our brain paralyzes our muscles to prevent us from acting out our dreams. Sometimes our brain wakes up before our body does, creating this temporary and admittedly scary disconnect. Knowing the science behind it can strip away the fear and help you realize it's a natural, harmless glitch in the sleep cycle. So, what fuels these legends? It's often a combination of real, explainable phenomena and our powerful human need for stories. We use stories to make sense of the world, to pass on warnings, and to cope with loss. A ghost story can be a way of keeping the memory of a person alive, or a cautionary tale to keep children away from a dangerous place. These narratives get passed down through generations, evolving and becoming more elaborate over time. And the more we hear them, the more they embed themselves in our collective consciousness, ready to pop up when we're alone in the dark. Let's talk about the environment itself. Old houses, for example, are a prime setting for ghost stories. Why? Because they make noises. Wood expands and contracts, pipes gurgle, and drafts whistle through cracks. These sounds are completely normal for an old structure settling, but in the dead of night, they can sound like footsteps on the stairs or a whisper in the hallway. Our brains are pattern-seeking machines. When we hear a random series of creaks, we might try to find a pattern, a rhythm, and interpret it as intentional movement. It's not a restless spirit, it's just physics. Even our own senses can play tricks on us. In low light, our peripheral vision is more sensitive to movement, but it's not very good with details. A curtain fluttering in a breeze, or a pile of clothes, casting a strange shadow, can easily be mistaken for a figure. This is called pareidolia, the same psychological phenomenon that makes us see faces in clouds or in the patterns of a wooden door. Our brain is so geared to recognize human forms that it will sometimes create them where they don't exist. So how do we reclaim our nights from these ghostly intruders? The first step is knowledge. Understanding the science behind these supernatural experiences is incredibly empowering. When you hear a strange noise, instead of jumping to the ghost conclusion, you can think, that's just the house settling. Or, that was probably a hypnagogic jerk. Demystifying the experience removes its power to frighten you. Next, create a sleep sanctuary that feels safe and comfortable. This might mean using a nightlight if complete darkness makes you anxious. A white noise machine or a fan can be fantastic for masking those small, startling sounds that can trigger your imagination. The constant, gentle hum creates a predictable and soothing audio environment, preventing your ears from being on high alert for every little creak. Mindfulness and relaxation techniques are also your best friends. Before bed, instead of scrolling through spooky stories online, try some deep breathing exercises or a guided meditation. This helps to calm your nervous system and quiet the mental chatter. When your mind is in a peaceful state, it's less likely to wander into anxious, fearful territory. You're telling your body and brain that it's time to rest and that you are safe. Also, be mindful of the content you consume before bed. Watching a horror movie or reading scary stories right before you try to sleep is like pouring gasoline on the fire of your imagination. It primes your brain to be on the lookout for threats. Instead, opt for something light, funny, or relaxing. Give your mind positive and peaceful material to work with as you drift off. If you find that these fears are persistent and significantly impacting your ability to sleep, it's really important to talk to someone. Sometimes, these anxieties can be a symptom of a larger issue, like an anxiety disorder. There's no shame in seeking help from a therapist or a counselor. They can provide you with tools and strategies to manage your fears and improve your sleep quality. Remember, taking care of your mental health is just as important as taking care of your physical health. So the next time you're lying in bed and you feel that familiar prickle of fear, take a deep breath. Remind yourself of what we've talked about tonight. Think about hypnagogia, sleep paralysis, and the creaks and groans of your home. See these things not as a threat, but as the normal, natural workings of your brain and your environment. You are the master of your own mind. The legends and ghosts only have the power that you give them. By understanding them, you take that power back. Sleep should be a time of rest and regeneration, not fear. By arming ourselves with knowledge and creating a peaceful routine, we can ensure that our nights are filled with sweet dreams, not spooky specters. Thank you so much for joining our sleep lecture tonight. I hope this has been helpful and has brought some light to those things that go bump in the night. If you found this useful, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe for more insights into getting a great night's sleep. Sweet dreams and sleep well.